Hello students, how are you? Welcome to our science class. Our lesson for today is about how solar and lunar eclipses occur. This module is for Science 7, Quarter 4, Week 6. I am Teacher Fe and I am your guide in this module. So, bring out your pen, your paper, and your self-learning module. And let's start. At the end of this module, you should be able to first, define an eclipse. Second, differentiate the two types of eclipses. Third, explain how solar and lunar eclipses occur. And fourth, discuss whether beliefs and practices about eclipses has scientific basis. Before we start, let's check what you already know about our lesson by answering the following activity.
Direction. Choose the letter of your answer. Number 1. For a solar eclipse to occur, the alignment must be blank. A. Earth, Sun, Moon. B. Mars, Earth, Sun. C. Sun, Earth, Moon. Letter D. Sun, Moon, Earth. Number 2. During hot phase of the moon, can a lunar eclipse occur? A. First quarter. B. Full moon. C. New moon. And D. Waxing moon. Number 3. You are less likely to see a total solar eclipse than a total lunar eclipse because of blank. A. New moon phases occur less often than full moon phases. B. The moon's shadow covers all of Earth during a solar eclipse. Letter C. The moon's umbra only covers a small area on the Earth's surface. Letter D. Only people on the daytime side of the Earth can see a solar eclipse. Number 4. A total solar eclipse is visible from blank. A. All over the Earth. B. Only the moon's umbra. C. Only the moon's penumbra. And letter D. Only the dark side of the Earth. Number 5. During a total lunar eclipse, an observer on Earth would see blank. A. A new moon. B. A first quarter moon. C. The moon turning red in color. And D. No change in the moon's brightness.
And now, let's check if you got a perfect score. So, number 1, letter D. Number 2, letter B. Number 3, letter B. Number 4, letter B again. And number 5, letter C. Did you get a perfect score? If yes, you are very good. But if no, don't worry, because you are going to learn it in this module.
In your past lesson, you learned that the rotation of the Earth causes day and night, and its revolution around the Sun leads to the existence of the different seasons.
Today, we are going to learn about eclipses. There are two types types of eclipses, a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. But first, do you know what an eclipse is? An eclipse occurs when astronomical objects is temporarily obscured. Sometimes, the Earth is placed between the Sun and the Moon, and other times, the Moon is situated between the Earth and the Sun. These are eclipses. But let's investigate it better. Lunar eclipse is when the Earth is situated between the Moon and the Sun, making the Earth black at the sun's rays, which would be shining on the Moon, creating a shadow and darkening it. This phenomenon allows us to see the Moon in the reddish color, which seems to be bleeding. Lunar eclipse is quite frequent and can be seen from any part of the world at night time. They last various hours and can be of different types, but the most frequent ones are the partial lunar eclipse and the total lunar eclipse. When there is an eclipse and it looks like as if someone is taking a bite out of the moon, it is a partial lunar eclipse. And when there is an eclipse and one can see the whole moon, it is the total lunar eclipse. Easy, don't you think? By the way, to observe a lunar eclipse, one doesn't need anything special. A normal telescope or binocular can do it.
There are three types of lunar eclipse. We have the penumbral lunar eclipse, the partial lunar eclipse, and the total lunar eclipse. Another type of a lunar eclipse is the penumbral lunar eclipse. This occurs when the moon passes through the Earth's penumbra, like this one. So, you have heard the moon? And take note that when we say penumbra, it is the lighter shadow of the Earth, this one. Another example of penumbral lunar eclipse is this one. So if you're going to look into, there are two portions or areas of penumbra. So this one and this one. And then you have here the moon, which is partially entering the penumbra. Partial lunar eclipse occurs when only a portion of the moon enters the Earth's umbra. Example is this one. So as we have said a while back, penumbra is the lighter shadow of the Earth and penumbra is the darker shadow of the Earth. So we have here the moon that is partially entering the Earth's umbra. Total lunar eclipse occurs when the entire moon enters the planet's umbra, like this. During full moon or total lunar eclipse, we often see that the color of the moon is red. This is because the red light gets refracted, passes through the atmosphere and falls onto the moon.
Solar eclipse only occurs when it is a new moon, and it is seen when the moon is between the Earth and the Sun. The moon hides all the sun's light, and it only lasts in minutes.
There are three types of solar eclipse. First is the partial solar eclipse. Second is the annular solar eclipse. And third is the total solar eclipse. Partial solar eclipse occurs when the sun and moon are not exactly in line with the Earth, and the moon only partially obscures the sun. Annular solar eclipse occurs when the sun and moon are exactly in line with the Earth, but the apparent size of the moon is smaller than that of the sun. Total solar eclipse occurs when the moon completely obscures the bright light of the sun, allowing the much fainter solar corona to be visible. How do solar and lunar eclipses occur? A lunar eclipse occurs at night at full moon, when Earth passes between the sun and the moon. While a solar eclipse occurs in the daytime at new moon, when the moon is between the Earth and the sun. There are superstitious beliefs about the occurrence of an eclipse. In many regions, it It was believed that eclipse occurs when evil mythological creature attack the sun. A giant turtle in Vietnam, a jaguar in Latin America, a dragon in Asia, or a wolf in Oman. In Tahiti, eclipses had been interpreted as the lovemaking of the sun and the moon. So people in Tahiti find the event to be something to look forward to, since eclipse seems to be the indication of a divine blessing. There are also practices and rituals that counteract the negative effects of eclipses. During an eclipse, impure gases circulate in the environment. These gases are also absorbed by our food and water. So people should avoid eating and drinking during the eclipse phase. Water can be made pure by adding basil leaves. The cooked food should be eaten before the eclipse begins. Pregnant women should strictly observe these tips. Chinese people shoot fireworks in the sky and make a brighter hullabaloo by shaking bells or beating in drums, pots, and drums to chase away the dragon that guzzled the face of the sun. In science, explanations are always supported with evidences. Beliefs related to eclipse, such as the increase of harmful microorganisms during an eclipse, are passed on by adults to young children. Until now, no proof has been offered to show that they are true. For your activity, you're going to choose at least one beliefs or practices and rituals that we had discussed, or you may interview your grandparents or your parents about the community's beliefs and practices about eclipses and make a simple explanation if it is possible or not. This will be 15 points of your performance task. You may work on this after viewing this video. Let's summarize our lesson by answering the following questions. What is an eclipse? You're right when you say an eclipse takes place when one heavenly body, such as the moon or planet, moves into the shadow of another heavenly body. What are the two types of an eclipse? You're right again when your answer is solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. What are their differences? Reflect back and check if you have the correct answer. Solar eclipse occur only when the moon is between the earth and the sun, and they are exactly or very closely aligned. It lasts for only minutes. Lunar eclipse occur only when the earth is between the moon and the sun, and they are exactly aligned. It lasts for various hours. Solar eclipse happens once in 18 months. Its three types are the total solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse, and the annular solar eclipse. It is seen from few places only. While lunar eclipse occurs 2 times in a year, its three types are the total lunar eclipse, the partial lunar eclipse, and the penumbral lunar eclipse. It is also seen from many places. Solar eclipse happens during daytime on a new moon. It is not safe to see because it can harm the eyes. You need protective glasses to see it. While lunar eclipse happens during nighttime on a full moon, it is safe to see for it will not harm the eye. And now it's your turn. You're going to make 2 stanza poems with 4 lines on what you have learned about eclipses. So this is your guide. So on the first stanza, you're going to define an eclipse and identify and differentiate the 2 types. In the second stanza, you're going to explain how solar and lunar eclipse occur. And this is the format. For your guide in doing the activity, you may refer to the performance rubric in your module. You may finish watching this video before answering it.
Let's check the knowledge you gained from our lesson.
Direction. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. For a solar eclipse to occur, the alignment must be blank. A. Earth, Sun, Moon. B. Mars, Earth, Sun. C. Sun, Earth, Moon. In letter D, Sun, Moon, Earth. Number 2. During what phase of the moon can a lunar eclipse occur? A. First quarter. B. Full moon. C. New moon. D. Waxing gibbous. Number 3. You are less likely to see a total solar eclipse than a total lunar eclipse because of blank. A. New moon phases occur less often than full moon phases. B. The moon's shadow covers all of Earth during a solar eclipse. Letter C. The moon's umbra only covers a small area on the Earth's surface. Letter D. Only people on the daytime side of the Earth can see a solar eclipse. Number 4. A total solar eclipse is visible from blank. A. All over Earth. B. Only the moon's umbra. C. Only the moon's penumbra. And D. Only the dark side of the Earth. Number 5. During a total lunar eclipse, an observer on Earth will see blank. A. A new moon. B. A first quarter moon. C. The moon turning red in color. And D. No change in the moon's brightness.
Are you still with me? Let's check if your answers are correct. So number 1, letter D. Number 2, letter B. Number 3 is letter B. And number 4, letter B. And number 5, letter C. This is the end of our lesson. I hope you learned a lot. Thank you for listening.